Be fair and compromise. Be willing to compromise on various aspects of the divorce, including property division, assets, and financial matters. Understand that a fair resolution may not mean getting everything you want, but it can lead to a quicker and more amicable divorce process. What I'll add to that is 50-50 is not always fair. I can tell you that very few, if any, of the settlement agreements I put together are the assets and debts divided equally. I would say probably never. They're never divided equally. When you go through an amicable divorce, you get to make the decisions on who keeps what. If you guys are splitting up some assets and they're not exactly equal, they could even be considerably off. And for one reason or another, you guys agree to those terms, and that's totally fine. The court's not going to interfere with your decision making ability. Maybe it's because there's not going to be any spouse support when there should be. Like, we run a calculation and it says, hey, spouse support should be $500 a month, but you guys don't want to include spouse support, for instance, because maybe if the husband was going to pay spouse support instead, he's going to take on, the entire $30,000 credit card or something like that. And that makes sense to you. Why would you want $500 a month for 3 years when he's going to pay, what normally would be half, splitting that credit card, that community property credit card, 15-15, he's going to take on the whole 30. You can make deals and bargains like that. I often say you don't want to feel like you are winning, because if you're winning, somebody's losing. But you can win because maybe some things are going to be more important to you. We had, thinking back a few months ago, we had clients where the mom, I think they had 4 children, and all she cared about is staying in the family home. She wanted to keep it consistent for the kids. She didn't want a big change. She didn't want to have to sell the house. And in order to do that, she waived her right in both the husband's pension and deferred compensation in 401k. And so she was basically walking away from, I would say, an additional $50,000 of monies she could have got in the form of community property. But she was willing to forego that because if she wasn't going to do that, husband wanted to sell the house and get the proceeds from that, the cash, to be able to go and buy a new property, because they didn't have any liquid assets, because the pension money, you can't use that, and so forth. So that's what they ended up agreeing to. She kept the house. She's happy. He kept his pensions, and that was actually turned out to be important to him. He didn't want to have to divide those. And so that worked. So try and come up with a fair agreement that works for both of you. And that can even be tied back to the kids. What's fair to you guys for the kids, what's fair to the kids as well.